shunt the entire ability for ENCE to play, get rid of the Diva immediately.
And taken off the board here. Curious to see how this does look. Crazy Raccoon, of course, being seeded forward already here within the top 8, had their selection of opponent. They opt to go for the European squad and ENCE. Now, we're going to see if they end up regretting that at the end of it all. A best of 7 to decide who's going to be moving forward into the semifinals tomorrow.
Well, there's good news and bad news here for everybody because for ENCE, I mean, they're basically playing against a very similar team to Fnatic. Similar strength, similar hero pools, and similar play styles in terms of how good they are to dive. But the bad news is you've taken down the mini-boss of Korea, the first phase, but this is the final boss. This is what the final phase of Korea actually looks like. You've gone from Seed 4 Korea to Seed 1 Korea. Everything that Fnatic did well against ENCE yesterday, they're going to do even better against ENCE now that it's Crazy Raccoon, because we've upgraded from Dongak Ball to Junbin Ball. We've upgraded from, you know, Knife and Checkmate now to Lip and Heesang. I mean, everything has just leveled up, so ENCE is going to need to be on the A game. Yep,
this is going to be the true test. The ZP, though, having a bit of faith, a little bit more than the rest of the analysts there, says that Kevster will be able to get his one map, and Kevster's going to have to be important if they are finding victory. ENCE out on the 2 to start things off is my monk slinking around the back, looking for the execution here onto Shu. Hack going to be interrupted, though, unable to get that one across, and now he's going to be stuck falling down to the low ground. Can the punish come in? The answer is going to be absolutely yes. Shu collecting that first kill, as Kevster will similarly be taken down by Heesang.
I mean, they knew the Sombra was coming online once you press tab after a while, but they had to find the Sombra first, and the fact that you have this reactionary play where the Hack can be interrupted and Shu instantly goes for a 180 sleep and lands it is incredible.
Well, now just some further staggers here. Sky going to be taken down, looking for the break on Vistola's mech. That would certainly be the icing on the cake. D-Matrix are trying to keep him alive with the pursuit forward. They're able to find it. And that can force just a jump off the side of the map, if not the swap, and it will be the swap, so it's going to be about 17% ult charge lost.
You really see my moment come through to hack Junbin. I mean, this is the entire reason you see the Sombra even come through. Sleep down onto the lip, but the protection once again comes on through. Junbin even bringing the shields over. It's rare that you actually see the ball give shields to the teammate, but in that scenario, required.
Yep, just keep him protected. Lip is Mr. President, so make sure that he's going to be able to get out scot-free, and he does. Opening ult here, though. Sky about to have that nano online. Does build that up very quickly here comparatively, so Shu still going to be playing catch-up, but it's another ENCE onto the back line, and as they get distracted trying to scatter and stay alive, Vistola ends up getting taken out of the mech and killed off there by Chorong.
Off the map, it seems. Shu Nana coming up, Chorong. Sound barrier coming up here as well. ENCE down 1 tech. They're down in DPS now. It's 55%.
And they're all here in the side room, just clustered together. It's going to be dynamite, the Bionade, everything. A slaughter here as Vistola, last one standing, once again has to pull back to the dropship.
This is a problem where we talked about the fact that this is basically playing against an upgraded Fnatic. You went up against a Dongak ball yesterday, but the ball dive on Crazy Raccoon is even better. Dongak, he might be the #2 ball in this tournament, but that means that the #1, and the #1 is Junbin, and you're seeing why. ENCE, they haven't really gotten any purchase on this map so far. Have they gotten the kill yet? I don't even think so.
I don't believe that they have. I think it's been just perfect play so far from inside of Crazy Raccoon, even with the hacks here on the Jinmin. I mean, you can tell, yeah, they knew that this is going to be Wrecking Ball. They're trying to counteract it, but they just have not been able to set up for success. Minefield now going to be dropped in. Back attack, just looking to clear out these mines as best as possible. Jinmin will be taking a nice little nap, but 97% ticking up. The touch is there. Maimon able to force out this overtime, but they desperately need some ultimates. Bob to open things up here from Lip. Jinbin down low on HP. As Heesang gonna get stunned up. Rally popped. Rack Attack has a shield bash into the whip shot to go ahead and take him down. So Tracer eliminated. First kill gonna be found. Jinbin still here in the back lines, able to avoid that opening shield bash. Just playing around, trying to keep their attention tied on him rather than on the point itself. But the flip will still come through.
Yeah, respect being given by Crazy Raccoons. Okay, hold the ultimates. Just not throwing any more bodies onto that point. Would like to have seen more ultimates forced out of ENCE if you are Crazy Raccoons, so perhaps there is some sort of utility for making that play. EMP catches only one, the sound barrier comes through.
Yeah, catches one, sound barrier's there. Maimon going to be dead on the back end. Now the nano has to be invested just to try to keep Rack Attack alive. Heesang, pulse bomb still in the back pocket, seeking target, but Kevster already eliminated. Now it's DPS-less. It's a lob in. It's a break on the mech. Self-destruct available will be popped. Vistola going to try to get himself back into this one. Looks like he will not be able to as Heesang, the very last second, manages to deny it away. Flip back into their favor. Crazy Raccoon looking to take this one 130% just about. And with the kills continuing onward, the nanoed up Tracer, the force on the recall, that will be the round going their way.
Another thing to really read into the bans here as well is because ENCE ban away the Winston, what that really says is they're opting into the ball, because if you go for the tank ban here, you're no longer protecting You've already got the second ban. What you're really trying to do is, are we going to go up against the Winston or the ball? That has to be your choice, and they feel more confident based on what we see through the bans to go up against the ball. Maybe they feel like, okay, we put the Maimon, Sombra onto the field. Maybe there's something we do there. There was a little bit effective versus Dongai. Fnatic not going to be as good at that dive as Crazy Raccoon. Will it be effective versus Crazy Raccoons? And off rip, Maimon spotted out somehow. Doesn't get the hack on, instantly dies, and it takes basically the entire map to see the first kill that he's saying even come on through. But as we go over towards Lighthouse, okay, Maimon back over towards the Echo. This is really, really important because I think that was the critical hero that Maimon played yesterday versus Fnatic that helped ENCE get the win.
I gotta say, thinking about it more and more, and after that first round of play, I've been thinking about your metaphor, that first phase of the final boss, now going into the actual last phase when they're fully powered up. Feels like it's more like you've intercepted and cracked a Morse code message in Fnatic. This is now you're trying to crack the Enigma code. It's just a little bit more impossible. Do you have the tools with which to pull it out? We're gonna find out, but first, blood does go the way of Lip as he finds Maimon just taking that Echo out of the sky nice and easy, setting up for Heesung to be able to get an early lead towards the Dupe.
Point's going to go away at this rate. Solid cannot contest. Backline of ENCE could be in trouble here as well. Long rotation. Junbin showing off some of that new ball tech.
I mean, this guy is just...
He's like spawn camming Maimon almost.
He's trying to. And gets the grapple back up. It's just up and over top of the buildings, and he's straight back into safety.
Yeah, I mean, this is top tier ball play. This is exactly how you want to be playing Wrecking Ball. This is why Junbin is the best in the world. You will never catch this guy. You don't even bother playing Sombra anymore. Maimon, he has to control the skies versus Heesang. He was the first dead. He has to show his value now. Sky nearly on ultimate.
Vistola just going to be focus fire down. Bionade from Sky to try to help boost up that healing and get him back into the fight, but it's going to be Maimon taking it down again as Heesung finds the kill this time around, and Vistola cannot escape. Broken out of the mech as Heesung once again takes to the skies and immediately greets him with a headshot. Another double Bionade onto the supports. I feel like it's the third time we've seen that thus far here on Ilios.
Yeah.
Shu, yeah, was really looking to put them down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Sky's just not going to match up the Shu. I mean, Strike Attack probably won't match up the Trong either, but especially in this case where ENCE, they prefer to play the Lucio Kiriko, they cannot do that. This is not the ideal backline composition for ENCE. They had the Kiri banned out. It's 51% now counting up for Crazy Raccoons, and ENCE still looking for an opening as Lip on the big flank, on the big lurk. Remember, there's no Suzu here, so if he lands this...
Okay, well, they hear him. Looking to just try to break down the shield. Kevster nearby. Does go ahead and stave him off. So both can be held. It's going to be another large nade coming through. As Nano does get invested over on towards Maimon. Is able to utilize it to find a kill. Jordan going to be taken down before that rally can come online. A window of opportunity to work with here from the side of ENCE, but reinforcements coming through as Heesung just adds another Ana into the mix. Kevster getting the dip there on a Lip, and Rack Attack going to be taken down. Pulse Pump from Lip, able to find at least one before getting traded out. And they need to make their way over to the point.
They still have numbers here. More ultimates coming online. Can they get more kills? Because Heesang's low, Shu is low as well. This is the opportunity. ENCE, the first time they're starting to actually get some momentum, they just start losing more and more, and it's basically that final fight. I mean, 90% now.
Junbin, he just set his sights over on Sky, and he was unrelenting. Finds that elimination. The minefield now set up here on the point. He's not going to be taken down as Pistola is able to find one. Rally, rolling, break on the mech. Self-destruct to come through. They pull back. They give up some space, but do they recontest? The answer is going to be yes, as Lip starts tiptoeing back in onto the point to keep this going. Overtime, ready to bleed down. Dupe available here from Maimon, the only ultimate they have available, as ENCE will get the flip once again, but it could just be similar scenes of what we just witnessed back over on Ruins. Copies now out here. Maimon going for the ball, but clearly the tech is not quite there. Doesn't have the movement. Manages to slink his way out, keeps the Dupe in play for now.
It's not a hero that Maimon would be expected to know how to play. Very difficult for an Echo to dupe over towards. Kevster down, Heesang traded, still opportunity. Sky looking over towards Nano, barely hit a Shu. This could be an opportunity for ENCE.
Maimon in around the back, just drawing the attention here of Lip. The flip not yet through into their favor, but now coming in as they push off the point. Flip is there, overtime going to start bleeding down. Lip another pulse bomb online, moves forward, cannot get the stick. Sky able to stay alive. Shu now coming back through, tagged up a bit. It's going to be swapping over onto Lucio. Nano at the ready. We'll see who the recipient's going to be. It's going to be Lip once more. Looking to try to really put things down here with a Nano Tracer, and Rack Attack gets sent sailing off the side of the map. Brig no longer in play. Kevster backpedaling, trying to stay alive. His own pulse bomb nearly built up, but Junbin will find him. He will fall. The flip back into their favor, getting ready to come through. His Vistola cannot keep it contested in time, and now he's at risk. Has the self-destruct available, so can't afford to lose the mech, but will he be able to get back into safety is going to be the question that's about to be tested right now. Self-destruct invested, anti out onto the Baby Diva. He gets cleaned up, and that should just about do it. They cannot push forward. They cannot continue. As it's just minor touches here from Kevster to try to keep things going, but members are getting bled dry. 2-0 here on Ilios. Crazy Raccoon sticking to the script.
You can see that ENCE have some capability fight. I mean, they have the mechanics. They can actually, you know, get some kills when required. Might come slow, but the one person they didn't take down is Jinbin. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he died at all. I don't think you saw. Yeah, you didn't see a single
you would be correct.
death on the kill feed. I certainly didn't. They didn't catch him. They can't catch him. They had the Sombra on the first round, but didn't really have any opportunities to really shut down Jinbin with that. So my Mo goes Echo for the second round, which is important because it's Lighthouse. But you have less of a chance to kill Jinbin now. This guy doesn't make mistakes on ball. This is everything Donghack did and even better. The mechanics on this hero, it's unmatched for Jinbin. And unfortunately, when you play Echo, it also removes a good copy target because most Echo players, I'm talking like basically every Echo player,
go for the tank.
They're not going to know how to play ball when you get that copy over. It's one of those extremely elusive heroes that you need a specialist to play. My Mo, he's on that ball, on the copy, no idea what he's doing. He loses the ball instantly. It's just not going to be a good copy. And unfortunately for a team like this, where, you know, Crazy Raccoons, they don't really have many weak points, and they instantly force you into a bad matchup. And that's even without banning the D.Va. Like I said, if Crazy Raccoons ban the D.Va, I think ENCE basically just give up on this map. There's really nothing they can do.
Yeah.
But the fact that Moon saves the D.Va means they will have the D.Va banned further on to a different map, which is really exciting.
Well, that is the first map done in Dustin. Raccoons out to the start here with a 1-0. Let's go ahead and send it down to Puckett, who's standing by on stage.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That's right. I'm here with Unter in the Qiddiya Arena. We're on the stage, and Unter, I gotta first ask you, who's bigger, Lip in-game or out-of-game? Because that guy is massive.
I mean, the thing is, Lip is monstrous in both. Now we've seen him not even on his main role, playing Tracer, and still, it's just pure domination for him.
Now, we were watching, and you were telling me this is a great map for ENCE to start their tournament today. But they just got whoppity-whopped.
Yeah, no, I saw the comps on Ruins, and I thought, wow, this is a really good position for ENCE to be in. They've got the Sombra Tracer full dive. There's no Brig on the side of Crazy Raccoon, and still, they just got crushed. It's like Chorong has eyes in the back of his head. Well, name one can't find an opening.
The best part of professional sports and esports is you can learn by watching, right? So what can I take away? Who should I be dialing in on Crazy Raccoon?
I mean, for Crazy Raccoon, Chorong's support play was absolutely incredible that map. Keeping Shu alive, whether he was on the Brig or the Lucio, there was just no pressure on Shu whatsoever. But of course, you know, you can always look to a DPS superstar. You can look to Lip.
Junbin has been one of my favorite wrecking balls. We've seen a lot of wrecking balls. My Dong Fist is out. Is he my tank to watch today?
Anytime Wrecking Ball is pickable, I'd expect to see expect to see Junbin on it. And honestly, this is his signature hero coming into the tournament.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, so what else can he flex to, though? Is there a way to slow him down? Do I need to waste a ban on Wrecking Ball? Do I ban a D.Va? Is there anything I can do to slow that guy down?
Well, this is the fundamental issue with being an enemy of Crazy Raccoon. No matter what you ban, they have something else in the tank. If you ban out Junbin's Wrecking Ball, he's just going to come back at you on Winston. He's going to come back at you on D.Va. He has options. He's played it all, and he plays it all to a very high level.
You guys were the underdogs in all of your matchups. What can you tell your team to bounce back after a loss? How do you just keep the heads in the game?
If I was in that position, if I was ENCE right now, I'd be trying to change tact. You know, we lost a dive matchup. Let's bring it to something more comfortable. Let's try and play some Sigma. Let's slow things down. Let's get Mirror from the bench. Let's try and play something different and change the game that way.
How do you feel being in the Qiddiya Arena right now?
Say again?
How do you feel being in the Qiddiya Arena right now?
Electric environment, packed crowd.
A lot of subs taking the stage, so we have a little bit of time to fill. If I'm ENCE, what do you think I'm going to be thinking as a coach? Who can I swap in? What do I want to mix up? What comps do I want to bring to the table moving forward? Because, you know, they get to make the map pick.
Well, as I said, I think that, you know, a slow, pokey map is likely. So we're probably going to see a move towards something like Escort, and we're going to see Mirror integrated into the roster. We might see Vestola move over to the Sigma, move over to the Ramatra, and I think we're going to see something out of Mirror, you know, maybe an Illari.
Mirror coming in on that Illari. He had our #1 play from yesterday. We'll see if he's able to pop off once again, but you are playing the stiffest competition in Overwatch 2 right now. Crazy Raccoon are rolling. We'll find out if they can keep that going. Unter, talk to me about Max, though. Junbin is going to give the other tanks some time on the stage today, as it looks like the coaches are deciding to get everyone playing time here in the round of 8.
Well, you see, I think Max moving in, that is more of an indication that we will be seeing a slow matchup because Max, he's the off-tank specialist. He's the guy that you bring in when you want a high-quality Sigma. We could be seeing a rush tank. We could be seeing something like Diva or Junker Queen as well, but I would not be surprised at all to see Max flexing the Sigma. This is one of his strongest heroes. It's something that he will match up very closely with Vestola on. Bound to be a good one.
Can you ban the Sigma? Well, I guess he's out here, so they know it's probably in the game. I'm not going to get ahead of us, but I do know Danny is out running around. Danny, where you at?
What's up, everybody? Danny Lim here. Currently, Crazy Raccoons are up 1-0 against ENCE. I'm gonna say it. I think honestly, it's not looking easy for ENCE right now. Crazy Raccoons are just dominating the server right now. But I mean, it is only map 1, so we'll see if ENCE could maybe pull it back, maybe get another map win. Who knows? Let's keep watching the game.
Thank you, Danny. Well, everyone, the pick is in. ENCE will be bringing us to an escort map. It's going to be Circuit Royale, where we bring the action to next. We'll see if Hunter was right about the idea of trying to slow it down a little bit, make things a little bit more digestible for ENCE, and try to get the better of Crazy Raccoon. Of course, this is also a map that is well known for being a little bit more gimmicky, a little bit more off the beaten path. So if you're a team like ENCE where you feel like you're a little bit outmatched, this might be the best place to go to get a little bit of momentum in the series. Now for me, I know our caster's going to be breaking it down soon, but I take a look at this and wonder, what's the ban going to be here? Because you think about how you can play Circuit Royale and what teams have banned. Some teams have decided, hey, we're going to take away your long-range option here, and we're going to make it a different way. But you know what? We got our casters, Achilleos and Avril, ready to go and tell us about those bans.
Thank you very much, CP. Yes, we will get ready to get into this one and see what the band's going to be looking like. Circuit Royale going to be coming through. We've been seeing this map quite a bit, like the pivot away from Shambali, which was very prevalent at the beginning of the tournament.
We know that this is ENCE's priority right now in terms of the fact that they lose, so they get map choice, they get ban priority as well. They go to Circuit Royale, they're going to play the same thing they played versus Fnatic yesterday. So in many ways, as I mentioned, it's the same beats that we saw in ENCE's previous matchup. It's going to be Mirror coming back in. So what do they need to do? They need to protect their double flex support. So that's how the bans need to go. They need to make sure that Mirror's heroes cannot be banned out. You got to keep the BAP in there, you got to keep the Ilaria in there. These are ENCE's strengths. Not expecting any second bans to come on through. The reason why is because Vestola wants to play that. That's probably the one matchup for ENCE that they think they can have a chance of winning. This squad, well, parts of the squad when they were Team Finland in Overwatch World Cup last year, Vestola beat Hanbin in the Sigma matchup. He's one of the best Sigmas in the world, genuinely, when we're talking about Vestola. So he needs to be confident to face up against Max, who others would regard as one of the top, if not the top Sigmas in the world as well. So this is a matchup that he is not going to shy away from. This is the one thing that's very different to Fnatic yesterday, because Dongak was in the entire time. Attack, the off-tank for Fnatic, very different player, not quite up to scratch. Max, he's elite though. He's going to be a very tough opponent, but still, I think this is ENCE's best hope, is to force a Sigma matchup and pray that Vestola can beat Max.
And of course, the big concern is going to be if this one cannot come to fruition, if they cannot get that win and tie things up, what do they then do moving forward? Of course, that is a question for a little bit later as we get ready to jump into the game. The players are in the lobby, they're loading up, they're getting geared up to go. And to jump into this one to see if they can, in fact, answer back with a victory here. Because, wow, they were able to win that map, that Circuit Royale versus Fnatic yesterday. There was some cause for concern, at least initially. That A defense, that B defense, pretty much non-existent.
Well, the good news here is you don't need to worry about a flex over towards a tank. That's something that only someone from Toronto can do, or maybe Hardy will be bringing to the table. So here we go. ENCE's hero ban, of course, it's going to be on the support role. They need to protect their double flex support. They're going to get rid of Lucio, just in case Crazy Raccoon want to be funny about it. Lucio kind of enables a Ryan comp, but otherwise, Lucio's a bit of a throwaway ban. Looking over to the Crazy Raccoon side, I don't think the bans really matter for this map because they're so flexible and there's not a lot to target on the other side, but sure, we'll go for an Echo ban. What does that mean? I think that means you're going to force Kevsa onto the Pharah. You know Kai's coming in. You could have probably banned hit scan, but then you're kind of screwing yourself as well because you want Lip to be sniping. You're confident that Lip can take the 1v1 versus Sky and the Widowmaker, so what's the other matchup you're concerned about? What can Kevsa bring to the table? Well, Kevsa's Echo is probably better than his Pharah, and Pharah is the other ideal hero to play on this map, so get rid of the Echo, force Kevsa on the Pharah, and see what you can do there if you're Crazy Raccoon.
Well, of course, Mirror stepping back through, and This was a big map for Mirror. Things were a little bit shaky versus Fnatic yesterday until the Mirror moment happened. That 4K that he was able to pick up on that defense just really starting to shut things down. Because, I mean, you remember that final stretch of the map, it was like 4:45 at the time bank for Fnatic. And then they couldn't finish the map. It was a solid defense, and Mirror was the one who really got that snowball going.
And I think this is, you know, what ENCE need. They need some sort of poke matchup. They're very good as a front-to-back team. Where they're going to be weak is every single time Crazy Raccoon are going to end up playing dive. So they want Max to be in the lineup. They prefer this because I think Ristolo is far more confident in the Diva-Diva matchup, the Sigma-Sigma matchup, or even the Ram-Ram if it goes that far. ENCE are far more comfortable facing against Max than they will be against Junman. But, you know, it's a long series, Achilles. We could be going to 7 if ENCE are competitive in this game. Crazy Raccoons, they want to lock it out in 4, and they can always go back to Junban if things go wrong. So ENCE, whatever maps they can take away, every single map choice that they pick has to go their way. Otherwise, you know, this long uphill climb, it only gets steeper.
Well, let's see as we go into this one. If you're correct, if it is going to be that far coming out here from the side of Kevster, we will have Crazy Raccoon first in the defense, and we see that one being piloted by them.
Of course, Mirror and Shu, and also Kevster used to be teammates back on Gladiators back in the day, so a little bit of banter between those guys. It's like a reunion on the stage. Pretty sure it is the Sigma Mirror coming on through. Obviously, the defense have locked in their heroes. He's saying onto the Pharah. This is the exact comp we're talking about, right? Double flex, Sigma, Pharah, Widowmaker. That's essentially the bread and butter for this type of matchup. Didn't see it from ENCE yesterday, but this is what they want to play. This is what Fnatic banned out. Fnatic banned out the Sigma, Crazy Raccoon. They let it through because, you know what? They don't care. They think Max is going to win anyway. But can Kai beat Lip? Can Kevster? Can he take down Heesang?
Well, already just the one body shot across there from Kai over onto Heesang, but not going to be the headshot, not going to be the kill. Speaking of kill, Pistola, it looked like he just got pulled off stage.
Yep.
Just a vaudevillian Kane just yoinking him back.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see what the assists were in there, but I'm pretty sure Pistola had to have taken an extra headshot from Lip or something.
Yeah.
There's no way he just dies that quickly. Anyway, that is a slow start. It does affect some of the ultimates in play here. As you can see, Pistola's already going to be behind.
Oh, well, there's that headshot.
Lip's already on 42 as well. I mean, he's racing ahead in terms of the infrasight duel, and that's also a very important factor in this matchup as well.
Of course, Kai can catch up, but playing on the attacking Widow, sightline's not going to be favorable to you, and that's exactly why Lip, ready for the jump shot, manages to find the punish.
Well, it's a 50-50 for Kai because he's expecting Lip to be in 1 or 2 places, and Lip was on the side angle towards the building instead at the hairpin, and Lip has the shot because he knows Kai's going to go for that grapple.
Lip just anticipating the follow-up, knows that Kai's going to be coming back on the fray, but also knows that Pharah's just around the corner. Looks like he will reposition. A little bit of space going to be given up here.
Yeah. A lot of respect being given because, you know, you already have Crazy Raccoons basically backing out to the hairpin, but I don't think they want to back out any further than this. This is where they want to ideally hold things. You want Lip to still have good angles to work through. The further back you go, I think it's going to get harder for Lip. It's going to open angles for Kai, and that's what ENCE need.
Yeah. So this is exactly where Crazy Raccoon would like to try to maintain that cart.
Look at Max's ult charge.
Quite far forward, but yeah, as you say, Max up to 90%. Pistola with that early death still going to be lingering behind. It's going to be Captain Sun first here from Mirror, seeking a target. And the barrier interrupted, but no, actually, I believe they get the clip here on the Heesang. Kai at the same time, able to find the headshot, and Max going to be taken down, so now that Flux cannot come into play. Immortality field gets cleared out, and Mirror, he's doing it again.
He might be the secret weapon for the team. Honestly, ENCE, I was questioning the pickup when they came into this tournament with Mirror, but really, he is proving his worth. Allows ENCE to get that opening cap, and
he's having some fun with his teammate.
And it's also just a kill onto Max. I mean, Kai opens that one up because you have such high ult charge on Crazy Raccoons. They're so much further ahead, and yet they didn't actually get a chance to cash in those ultimates because Mirror pulls trigger first. I like that tempo's step up by ENCE. It's going to put Crazy Raccoons somewhat on the back foot. They were very defensive against that. Crazy Raccoons didn't want to, you know, try and counter ult against Mirror. Lip, unfortunately, couldn't find the shot onto Mirror, so they completely backed out. And as I said, it's about the angles, it's about having the sight lines, and Mirror completely opens up the map for Kai to get the shot onto Max.
Well, just some neutral spamming out. Good progression here from the side of ENCE as Mirror does it once more. Shu now going to be taken down. Flux going to be coming out here on both sides to pick up there onto Max. Interruption cannot be found. Decent damage, but immediately Kinetic Grasp coming through as Pistola gets a decent shield. Max will find a kill though as Mirror does get taken down. Strong looking for the setup there. Now it's going to have to try to play catch up to get towards that next Captive Sun, which Mira is only 21% away from.
Sky had a lamp there for the Captive Sun, and he did use it, but unfortunately members were still low even after that. So now Vasola, he's going to shift, he's going to back out, give the space away to Crazy Raccoons, who will alleviate pressure with 2 ultimates.
Okay, well, that's just going to be in for sight. Kai taking quite a bit of damage here in these last couple volleys. Now, window going to be opened up. Patrol on the first of all. Pistola able to collect that kill. He himself going to be taken low, but the kill not found here onto the enemy Sigmas. Captive Sun goes out, looking for the pop. He sunk down low, desperately needing some heals, and Shu with the peel will be able to shut Mira down. Lip with a final headshot, gets rid of Kevster. That's going to be a team kill. And now from here, Crazy Raccoon can try to get entrenched.
It's possible that Mira actually missed the Captive Sun, didn't see who it landed on, but certainly no one detonated and tried to get some body shot damage onto a couple of players, but no, it's Crazy Raccoons with Shu's window maximizing damage output there. ENCE had a really good shot at getting that push forward, and Mira's stepped up the tempo a lot on this Captive Sun. He's using it off cooldown. This is going to slow things down more, though. Lip still with the better defensive angles, especially after the ENCE reset. Kai is coming uphill. He's battling uphill on the respawn.
Mortality on cooldown here from Sky. Another headshot found. Pistola can shrug that one off for the time being. And it's just going to be the pylon to take it down. But now Pistola under a little bit more fire. Does need some heal focus. Constantly hovering down below half HP, and Lip coming up with the goods once more. Finds Amir. Pistola eventually out-pressured here. It's Strong.
Probably
sending
didn't
that Captive Sun, but
probably
yeah.
Need to use a Captive Sun there, but they just want to reset ENCE even harder. ENCE were going to reset no matter what there. But Lip is now just running away with this game. I mean, it's a very difficult time for Kai to try and do anything in this matchup where they're consistently being pushed back. Lip is also going to be far more fearsome on the Widowmaker compared to someone like Knife, and this is what we're talking about, right? You beat Lil Bro yesterday, but Crazy Raccoons right now, it's everything on their team much better than what they faced yesterday.
Kai trying to set up for that shot, but it's a direct hit on the rocket. It's just widely being denied these sightlines, these opportunities to find these what would be incredibly impactful opening kills, but Kevster now gone. Lip just continuing to maintain dominance, peeks up over the top, finds Sky, goes on the hunt for a little bit more, and Foresight will reveal that they're all back to safety.
You know, the crazy thing is, because Lip has doubled Kai's charge, there is a chance, while we might see some stagger kills here, but there's a good chance that Lip actually finds in a Foresight the same time as Kai, despite Kai being on 52.
Yeah, could very well be the case, and I thought maybe they were going to end up overstepping here with this deep chase to try to find that elimination, but no, they're now just touching the spawn room doors. There it is, Max right up in front, barrier set up, saying, yeah, you can't get out.
Kevster's going to go Tracer here as well, because, you know, you need some forward pressure to get you out of spawn. Possibility for him to triple blink out and maybe go for a back cap, but ENCE, their doors are all covered. I mean, Heesang's got this upper side covered.
Barrage at the ready.
Between the 2 doors. And as you said, Barrage out the doors is really big.
Oh, well, low HP there on Heesang. Could potentially get taken down, but Lip able to find one. Strong going to be traded out. Heesang eventually will fall. Sky able to find that kill as Shu will get dropped. Chance to go ahead and get respawn in, though, as the cart, it's already rolled back such a significant distance, and there's only 13 seconds remaining.
Well, Heesang trolled a little bit because he did a 1 HP barrage, but just reset himself very quickly. It doesn't really matter. So go for the final contest here. Kevster dies just straight away. Wait a minute, can they touch or not?
They have it. They're bringing it. They rolled back so far, they were already on the card.
I saw Kevster blink so far forward. I was like, wait a minute, where's the payload? Why is Kevster going so deep? He gets punished regardless.
Flux to try to open. Vasola gets the pick up. Shu going to be taken down. Shot out of the air by Kai, and that's a critical one to be found. Mortality field still existing. Barrier set up. Lip looking for the opportunity. Knows that this Tracer is going to be coming for him. Dashes across to the opposite side. Kevster going to be taken low. Does manage to find that collection, that pound of flesh, but 3 players now lost on the side of ENCE. 2 for the side of Crazy Raccoon. The Strongs looks to try to keep them sustained. That next Captive Sun nearly online. The pylon eliminated. Max the melee hit. Takes out Kevster and will bring this round, this first half, to an end.
I do think there was probably a little bit of over-aggression for Crazy Raccoons to go that deep into spawn, to go for the spawn camp. It did punish them a little bit, and that gave slight momentum back to ENCE. Now, I don't think ENCE were going to be able to fully cap regardless of that, but what it does do is just give ENCE that much more, little bit of distance to try and defend on their own defense phase now.
I actually think, considering the rollback, the cart never made it as far as it had already been. So ultimately, while they do over-aggress, there's a little bit punished. I think that if they had gained any meterage, it was about 5.
Yeah, I just think the last fight was a little bit more of a dogfight than Crazy Raccoons have wanted, because they are a team that are a little bit more of a perfectionist team where, you know, in a sense, they can get way cleaner fights than that, but by being a little bit more aggressive, having a little bit more time pressure to come back and be able to defend B in time, it made things a little bit sloppy because you saw it was way more scrappy in the final fight in the OT than it probably should have been for CR.
It's one of those rare things. It's a term long since past, once coined by me years and years ago in the first existence of Contenders Korea. They were attempting the Willy Wonka. No one ever goes in, no one ever comes out. It's very rare that you see the full-blown spawn camp where they're able to sit right in front of them the entire time. Crazy Raccoon, they got close.
I do think it sends a message. I do think it sends a message to say, like, hey, look.
Oh, yeah.
We're that much better than you guys.
This is your map pick. And now on the attack, Kai needing to find the advantage here with these defensive sight lines. Lip again patiently waiting.
Lip had the defensive Widowmaker. Kai has a defensive Widowmaker now, so there's no excuses here. He needs to be performing up to standard versus Lip. Otherwise, I mean, ENCE's, and here we go.
Well,
otherwise, one of ENCE's only potential victories is going to be snatched away from them.
Finds that first kill. Kai up and over the top here on the walkway. Mir able to play off the back of that damage. A bit of an alley-oop found as Heesung will fall, so dropping both DPS players. Already a solid start here to the defense for ENCE as Kai finds another. Lip on the hunt, slowly creeping forward. Does get spotted out, I believe, though, so has to play back, and this is going to be slow moving off the rip. So now, seeking the pick. Quick little concussive blast around the side there. Just the pylon taken out. As the cart now starts inching forward, this opening corner taken by Crazy Raccoon, but this is the break point.
Things are slowed down here as we wait for ultimates, obviously. Okay, here we go. We know what the ultimates here are now. Sky at 75, so that is the lead so far. It is a reasonable lead. It's more than 20%. Actually, Sky getting a lot. If ENCE don't die here, if they can just slow things down, get the healing up. Sky, okay, now's the time to ult.
That Shu going to be taken down. Vistola able to find that. So maybe they can just hold it for a little bit longer, given that the BAP on the opposite side has been taken down. So yeah, can just keep that Amp Matrix in the back pocket. Continue to try to snowball out. They are going to be broken down. Max, all things considered, though, quite far forward. 23%, 25 now, up over Vistola.
Yep.
So Flux advantage in the hands here of Crazy Raccoon. You get the pickup, Lip. You can find that shooting gallery, that easy headshot. Things could fall apart, but there's the Captain Sun going to be coming through. Mirror looking to start things off nicely, and Will as Lip gets popped. Kill found, Immortality Field going to be forced out. Chorong falling low. Looks like some stability going to be found as there's the pickup off the Flux. Kevister dead off the rip. Just didn't have any HP. And as Kai gets dropped down, he's not within the Immortality Field, but is not going to get punished. Elimination cannot be found on that front, but Stola will still fall. So the front lines starting to get broken open. Kai eliminated, an opportunity for Lip to now match that infra site that Kai has been holding on to.
I like that Mirror has the tempo here to go for the Captive Suns, but Crazy Raccoon this time, you lose Lip, but that's fine. You'll trade Max with a Soul, and that's a far more effective trade. Sky's window here, unfortunately, not going to find enough value. And no, unfortunately, the touch is not going to come on through. That will be the cap, done and dusted now. As we'll slow things down slowly again. Wait for the Widowmakers to make their plays happen. Both will have infra sight in just a moment here. But it's Vistola that looks towards the Flux, it's Shu that looks towards the window, and I think Vistola's in the better spot. Flux versus Shu's window should be a good counter.
Already early damage. Vistola, I mean, he's going for this one, trying to play around the barrier. Shu does get taken down. Drops down, goes aggro, gets the accretion across, but that is far too forward there from Vistola. He's handing his life over. Now the rest of the team going to have to start backpedaling. Don't have these barriers to try to play around.
You can't make those mistakes. You cannot do that if you're Vistola. That's just giving away fights, and now ENCE, they have to go all the way back. Infrasight from Kai to slow things down. This is important. So Kai saves Infrasight for a moment like this. When someone dies, can we use Infrasight to force Crazy Raccoons to slow down?
Max, cheeky attempt at the predictive accretion, trying to interrupt the grapple. Infrasight's expired here on both sides. Heesung, that barrage available. The Amp Matrix, not the best position. Forces them back behind pillars, back within. And over towards that C site. So a little bit of space opened up, but they can't really find kills on the back of it. So just patient play here for the side of ENCE, but now they have to be all in. 245 with 4.34 meters left to go.
Mirror's waiting for this opportunity. Mirror has to be the one to save the day again. Mirror and Sky both looking towards ultimates. He's saying can't get a good barrage off, so I'm not concerned about that. Max kills for solo though. That might just be it. ENCE, they have nothing right now. They need something immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Kev's just trying to play the card. The Immortality Field's going to be using Desperation. Mirror taking quite a bit of damage. And he's just not going to be able to get it. No one else can touch. The recall has to be used by Kevster, and it's a breezy, easy finish here for Crazy Raccoon to now move up 2-0.
You have to question how the solo was just falling that quickly in the last fight. I mean, we know what happened 2 fights ago, which was a huge mistake, and that also can't be allowed to happen. Imagine Vistola doesn't overplay his hand, that he stays alive, you slow things down. It's about bleeding down the timer. Once Vistola dies, despite the infra sights, the payload still slowly moves up. It gives you the opportunity to get an okay angle. It's enough of a window angle that still forces ENCE backwards, and they can't defend in that sort of situation. You need to buy time for your supports. Mirror and Sky were not ready to defend yet. They were still waiting for the ultimates to be online, and then Vistola falls again. And this is the matchup that ENCE needed to win. Like I said before we got into this, Circuit Royale is a huge priority for ENCE. This is where Vistola and Max can square up on the Sigma, and unfortunately, Vistola does not meet the challenge.
Yeah, a bizarre play there from the side of Vistola, one that he's certainly going to be regretting, but as I saw that, all I could think is that esports sometimes is crazy. You do crazy things. But it's a 2-0 now here for the side of Crazy Raccoon. And Hunter on his prediction, looking like he's moving in the right direction. ZP still holding out for that one map.
The thing is, I think that was the one map. If ZP was holding out for a map, that was the one map. I think ZP probably placed his bets on Kevster a little too hard, because to me, it's about the entire team matchup. One guy's not going to bail you out of this. Maybe if you're versing another team who also just comes through one superstar, that could be something, but yeah, even if Kevster is the better tracer against Lip, which I think he is, you need the other players to be matching their targets. We need to see Maimone back in for whatever map comes in next, assuming it's not a sniper map, and he needs to be on that Echo, permanently locking in, bringing his A game like he was versus Fnatic yesterday, and that's how we're going to see a win. Vistola and Max, they got to square up on something different. Maybe the Divas next.
Well, plenty more to talk about here, so we'll pass it back over to the analysts to break down the action.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Crazy Raccoon are trying to speedrun their way into the top 4. They've won both tournaments, the major tournaments of the year. They're primed to do it once again. But ENCE trying to get in their way. Let's talk about what we saw here as we look back at the highlights. You warned me about Lip. You told me he could be pretty good at the sniper, and Kai found out as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lip was a menace. Kai was definitely struggling over the course of it. I mean, Kai got his licks in here and there, but, you know, as we break this match down, it's just, oh yeah, every part of Crazy Raccoon, really, really good.
Max is pretty solid as well. Jumbin, of course, considered one of the greatest tanks in this tournament. Max comes in on the Sigma. What'd you see, Hunter?
I'd say, you know, Max, his Sigma to Sigma, it was pretty solid. He looked good. He was damage gapping Vistola like fairly consistently. But, you know, Mirror on the other side, on the Illari, he was probably the brightest point for the team. He was actually turning some fights, getting some initial picks, which is honestly more than can be said for most of ENCE at this point.
Surprised by that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty surprising. If there was a bright spot, which really could have been road to a victory, it was Mirror just having massive Illari plays. The problem was that the total package wasn't there, especially when you look at the tank play where, you know, there's a lot of reasons why your main tank might be dying first, but the reality is that Vistola was on the ground more often than not, and that killed ENCE and their ability to maintain control.
ENCE's coaches have another decision to make here, Hunter, so let's put on our coaching caps and looking through. Do I go to Flashpoint and just try and go head-to-head? Control didn't go my way. Push seems pretty hard. Is Hybrid the best bet?
Now, I would say, you know, after watching the first Koth map, there's no way that ENCE wants to take a fast matchup with Crazy Raccoon.
Okay.
There was pure domination there. You know, we've just seen a defeat on Escort, but these slow comps, they look like the best chance that they've got. ENCE, honestly, I feel like they're going to need to continue to take it to slow matchup.
You agree with that, ZP? Do you think Poke is the way to go?
Yeah, I mean, I also think if they could find a map where, you know, something like a Midtown or even like a Hollywood where you could play an Illari, right? Mirror was a very bright spot on the team that wasn't really particularly being dealt with super well by Crazy Raccoon. So if you see that, you go, okay, can we force Illari again? Because that worked out really well.
I got the answer. It's time to share it with our audience at home. We're going to my home city, New York City. Midtown is going to be our battlefield. ZP, what's the play here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of what we were just talking about, where slow it down, get Mirror on the Illari if you feel comfortable playing it, and also try and find a way to keep Vistola alive. Again, it's one of those things Overwatch where it's not always the main tank's fault when they're going down, but the reality is, whether it's on the supports, whether it's on Vistola himself, Vistola needs to stay alive more than 2 seconds into a fight.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough. Maybe not jump down on their whole team. Let's talk a little bit about the DPS, though, here, because if you were watching ENCE yesterday, this is the map they played, and the Tracers were popping off on both sides of the field. What kind of comps do you expect to see? Can you even dive the back line from our Korean team, Crazy Raccoon?
I would say, you know, Midtown, it is a more difficult map to play these fast comps. I think it's likely that we're going to see more slow matchups. You know, maybe some Tracers with the double flex support comps and just a slow beating going down, trying to work your way through the map. I don't think we're going to see Lucio comps running down main, but if the bans go right, that could be how the series winds up. It doesn't necessarily matter what's perfect for the map, because the bans can upset that.
If you're doing the ban first, you're doing the map selection, does that mean you're always attacking first as well, ZP?
I think it does within. I mean, it would make sense. Although you also might be able to choose attacker.
It's a
defend.
choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So really, when you lose a map, you get the choice of everything. You can stack the deck in your favor in all the ways you want. You could choose attacker defense. You get first ban. You get map pick. It's everything is being set in your favor to not make it a 4-0, which is why it's also very impressive when teams do 4-0.
So why do you choose to attack if I'm ENCE's coaches? Why not let Crazy Raccoon make their attempt, find out how far I need my team to go, and then try and do that on my turn?
You see, the thing about the attacking team is you can stand in spawn, you can look at what comp the enemy team is on, and then you can make adjustments from there. When you're the defenders, you're locked into your comp from the start. So no matter what you want to do, you have to commit to that. Whereas the attackers, they can just scout the comp, walk back, change to the best thing, and then walk out.
With this being a hybrid, of course, you have to capture that first control point, and then the fire trucks start coming out. So let's talk about it. How many trucks are going to be on the map for NCP? Will they see the first one?
I think they'll get the first one. I think you have to get totally just dominated to not at least get point A on Midtown, which, hey, look, it's happened. It will happen again in the future. But in this case, I think they'll at least get point A. Will they get past the underpass, though? That's another question entirely.
Hunter, who finishes with gold eliminations?
It's always Lip, you know?
Always?
He's just that guy. Every single time you put a gun in his hand, he's taken over the lobby. So I would not be surprised to see Lip with top elimination.
He's 6'12", a massive human in and out of game, and he is ready to go. So let's get back into the action as we send it to the casters to kick off game number 3. ENCE, let's get one for ZP, shall we?
Please.
Very much, and yes, let's get this underway. ENCE down, not yet out. Obviously, still plenty more to be played, but they find themselves currently in this 0-2 deficit. Crazy Raccoon are looking to breeze their way into the semifinals.
Here's a really interesting thing that I have to discuss as the bans come through. Mirror is still in, but they did swap my Moan in for Kai, so there's not going to be any sort of hit scan here for ENCE. In fact, they've even banned out the Ashe. The problem with this is I don't think Lip cares, because Widowmaker is playable on this map as well, but you've removed your ability to counter-snipe now. As Crazy Raccoons, they got to ban away Ram. What does that say to me? That Crazy Raccoons want to remove all capability of ENCE to play Brawl, because when you're looking for Soul's hero pool, he's not going to be playing the main tank. So what is the default Brawl hero that Vestol is going to go to, as every off-tank does? It's going to be Ram. Guess what? No more Ram. You're now playing back into Max's wheelhouse. That might be fine for Vostola, but I do think it becomes a bit of a problem when, let's say, the double poke on the double flexible side doesn't work out for ENCE. They can't swap Mirror out onto anything. I think this is an adjustment from Coach Crimzo from the game versus Fnatic, and saying that, okay, if maybe we put Kevster and Mirror in, we're like stuck on this Giga Poke composition. At least with my Moan, we have a bit more flexibility, but you still kept Mirror in, which means you're not going to have Lucio in this game.
No, they certainly are not. Now I'm curious, as we get ready to start things off the defending side, do we just see Max continue to lean on that Sigma, where he was quite far ahead of his toll?
Well, I think the default here is really good for Sigma. So Crazy Raccoon's going to start with a Sigma defense, and I think ENCE, maybe they'll lean into that. It really depends, because remember, they got rid of the Ashe, right? So they want to play something a little bit quicker. No, I don't think the double flies are going to be in here. Kev should be on a Tracer.
Lip is coming out with the Widowmaker.
I think it's too early for the Widow. I said Midtown's good for Widow, but it's B and C that are good for Widow. I think A is a little bit too much for Lip. Now, the good news is the Ashe ban is great against Crazy Raccoon for the A point. It's going to come back to bite them further on if Lip probably does decide to continue sniping. This might end up being a little bit of a downside for Crazy Raccoon, but then again, knowing Lip, if he just hits his shots and can deal with the very narrow angles and the short sight lines on A, it's who knows for Crazy Raccoons. Let's see what ENCE want to do, though.
For Kevster, quick TP forward, see what he's going to land on, and here's a listen in.
No.
I'm taking damage.
Okay, Widow.
Okay, I can take left side soon, Murray, you ready?
I don't see second DPS, I don't see second DPS. Wait.
I'll make the
Widow.
I'm going left side. I'm going left with you. Okay, man.
We're just playing bottom left.
Far left.
Playing main right now.
I can go in left.
Yo.
Yeah, we can fight for left. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm picking 3, 2, 1. I'm fighting for left.
I'm in left. Far me, far off. Far inside, far.
Landing Larry.
Can make a man.
1 HP under you. 1 HP Larry.
Can you heal it up? Can you heal it up?
Yeah. Pick.
I don't see what I don't see what
Chill. What did they mean?
Oh, I can't.
Oh my god. Yeah, we don't flank far.
Low one.
Farm me on there. We're just playing so far back.
I'm leveling.
Open.
Sig is done me. Reset, I think.
I can't reset.
Yeah,
I'm
with this guy.
fine. Press. Dollar me.
How much guy?
Sig walking, shit Sig.
Okay, exploding.
Seems like ENCE weren't able to match up with Vistola's movement there. He wanted to go a little bit deeper. He got rocked by Max, and you could see the supports for ENCE were still a little bit further back. Sky, he was being pressured out and zoned out by Max. Lip has had minimal pressure on this map so far, but he's still getting damage done. He is still an active factor on the field that ENCE have to deal with. Vistola has to have Matrix ready to block out Lip. So even considering that Lip is maybe not on the best hero here, ENCE are still struggling to get past the Sigma.
Grapple up to the top here. Lip just playing back, getting himself into a better position. Hunting a target, but now we hear Nano going to be invested. That goes over to Capster. He's immediately jumped in on top of Lip, finds that elimination, and Mira gets the better of Chorong with the help of Sky. So 2 kills going to be found. Barrage opened up by Heesung somewhere off camera, but ultimately he's not finding too much value. Mortality Field burned to try to keep that far alive, so still is around, still hovering nearby, but as you can see, he's quite far forward and is trying to get rid of that enemy Ana.
Yep.
Cannot do so, and it seems like the second volley here for ENCE is going to be doing solid work.
I don't know if the Nano was meant for Kevster, but it paid off because it allows Kevster to go in and makes him a little bit more tanky. 350 effective HP for a Tracer. Takes down Lip straight away, the easiest target. Lip can't really get away. Again, you're not on an Ash here, you can't coach gun. And Max gets pulse bomb before the Flux is available. Max was trying to hold the point for a Crazy Raccoon retake, and Kevster says no, not going to happen. But we discussed the fact that Lip not really doing a lot on A, but now that we're on B, this is where the Widowmaker can start shining. Kevster trying to put the pressure onto Lip, but Lip has been saved.
Bailout, but it's an Immortality Field just to go ahead and keep him in this fight, keep him on this hard line, and well, it's rewarded. So all the investment to keep Lip, it pays off. His Sky does get taken down.
Yeah.
A solid headshot going to be found, and that helps lock this fire truck right here in position. Vistola trying to backpedal, trying to get himself out here, but Maimon does get caught up in the crossfire, ends up getting picked off.
Really, it's just Kevster that has to run at Lip here because you can't snipe him. You can't do anything. Mirror and Sky cannot challenge. They're not actually on any sort of snipers. Crazy Raccoon now going to go for the spawn camp, just diving straight on in.
Here we go again. As break on the mech.
Watch the stagger.
Vistola, yep, going to try to make it back over the spawn room. He's trying to run at them, say, yeah, please end me, please get rid of this life. And they will be somewhat merciful because they have to get ready for the next respawn wave.
Now, good news is Kevster is the one guy that can maybe break out a spawn, but at this rate, it's going to take ENCE some time. It's going to cost some ultimates. Lip's even going to Infra Sight here.
Yep, Sight now coming through. Dupe out from my onto this one and gets the shutdown. Max unable to find too much value. Break on the Dupe does come in, and Vistola has the eat on that Captive Sun, but it might not matter because Mira now headshot, pylon cleaned up. Vistola near being taken out of the mech once again. And it could just be additional stagger unless he can make it out to safety, but he's on the wrong side of the street. He's interrupted, cannot go for that self-destruct. Would be such a catastrophic waste. So will just end up falling. Max, though, in a very far forward position. Potential to get punished, but looks like as the heals stream through, they will be able to keep him alive.
I mean, Mirror has to healing pylon in spawn, and Sky nading himself there. ENCE is just struggling to even make it out of spawn. This is very difficult for them, as I don't think they have the best ultimates even to break out of spawn at this rate. You might want to just go for Nano onto, okay, on Maimo.
And
not
will
bad,
find Chorong. Yeah, big kills as he get both supports off the back of that Nano. Solid shutdown. Lip now going to be taken out, and the push can begin. But unfortunately for ENCE, it's been so much time bought here by Crazy Raccoon.
I mean, it's the fact that you say can begin, right? It's been minutes here that we've spent at B in the spawn, and only now the fire truck is on its way. Lip's actually swapping off the Widowmaker. You know, you would think the Widowmaker would be preferential here, given, you know, he still has lots of sightlines to work through, but respecting Kevster a little bit more. Kevster is just running at Lip a lot, so Kevster's going to move over, so Lip rather going to move over towards the cast to deal with that.
Dodge out on that accretion. Vistola not getting stunned up. Cart starting to make its way through into the underpass. Heesung still looking to rejoin him. He's been in the back lines this entire time. Looking for the one clip here on a mirror. Pops a recall, tries to finish the job. Sky now going to be taken down as there's the alley-oop. Handed over to Shu. Self-destruct committed to, but Vistola dead. Only the Immortality Field is going to be found. Maimon does manage to get rid of Shu there with the beam, but he himself is going to be traded out. And now, I mean, we could just go right back into another spawn camp.
Yeah, they definitely could, but I think the payload is a little too advanced for that, so they're going to respect.
Gotta be worried about a back cap.
They'll respect the fact that a back cap could be possible. I mean, you'd have to do a really good job of keeping the lid on to Kevster to make sure he doesn't go for anything funny. Less than a minute remaining here for ENCE to get a push on. Timing is really bad for them because Crazy Raccoon also have ultimates at the same time as ENCE, and Crazy Raccoon have all the high ground to play through.
Captive Sun about to be up here for both of these Alaris. Window, however, there, the big key advantage that Crazy Raccoon have in his back pocket as Mirror's going to take it down. Max able to find that kill, just plus forwarding in towards him. As Kevster dead, Maimon swinging around the back, trying to find the kill, does manage to get rid of Lip, gets a follow-up, a shoe will fall. Duke now through, and Maimon is doing everything to try to get them back on the saddle. Max, backpedaling, pops that kinetic grass. Flux is going to be used. He's going to be taken down. That's a big blunder for Max.
Yeah, Max is making some mistakes now. Crazy Raccoons are letting this one go. And like I said a little bit earlier on, CP put his faith into Kevster. I put my faith in Maimon. This is the guy that needs to stand out for ENCE if they want any shot at this. 5 seconds remaining. Payload nearly there. Crazy Raccoons, they will have a retake. Max to the Diva, 4 ultimates.
Captive Sun going to be coming through. Of course, can be eaten, but no Lip. The Deadeye, it goes off fast enough to get the punish. Mirror cannot let that ult loose. He's sung now, pressuring Sky, keeping his attention tied, and maybe even just killing him off. Immortality Field has to be used for himself, which means that Vistola is out on an island, stranded with no rescue in sight. The cart, they get it further than we might have anticipated. It was a solid rally back. Maimon really taking that second to last fight into his own hands. Makes it possible, but the return, the Deadeye from Lip, it starts things off. That spiral so quickly unraveled.
You can start to see a couple of cracks in the Crazy Raccoons, but nothing that you can really be able to tear open and expose at this moment. You're hoping for more plays like this. Putting the Nano onto Kevster, putting the Nano to Maimon. This is where the successes have been found so far. When you can have some star power, some real, damage output coming through here. I think we saw Lip there just roll out of the lamp, which is a little bit unfavorable, let's say. Max kind of blowing a Flux there. To be fair, I think Max coming through on the D for the retake is very important, so maybe Flux wasn't going to be that much of a factor anyway. For ENCE, they get reasonable distance. This is far more defendable than what they originally had, so thank goodness for the fact that they were able to get that far in the first place.
Well, ENCE with an immense amount of work to do now, going over onto this defense. Curious to see, though, Lip, what is he going to do? Does it just cast off the rip this time around? Obviously, you're starting on the attack. Well, the Widowmaker that much more likely.
The thing is, if Max is hovering the Zarya right now, so what I'm getting at is the potential for a Zarya brawl, because Ram has been banned out. And that's actually a good thing for ENCE. And by the way, that was Crazy Raccoon's ban, because ENCE feels safe and they can start Vistola on the Sigma. Usually the Ram would kind of have a counter to the Sigma, but in this case, I don't know the Zarya has a fantastic matchup into the Sig. They're going to just go for it anyway. How does Maimon die off rip?
Well, he was a flightless bird in that moment, a dodo, you could say.
Now Vistola's dead. This is A, it's done.
This is, I mean, pretty much the map, considering the distance needed and the time accrued. Hope the analysts didn't get too cozy. Time to start stretching those legs, get back on your feet, get the blood flowing.
I think the weakness is Max's Zarya will have a little bit harder of a time attacking the high ground as we move forward. They'll try and just move up now, but for Crazy Raccoons, let's see what ultimates they can find early on. You do see Lip just kind of early farming this one. You still just have to question what happened to Maimon there, because did he eat a headshot from Lip and it just didn't show up in the assist?
Hard to say, but what we can say with confidence is that he got bodied.
Yeah, and then Vistola straight away got bodied as well. I mean, there's a chance that I think if you're ENCE, could you have just backed out very quickly and gone for a 2-tick retake?
Change your name from Maimon to My Scream, because he was just absolutely slaughtered at the beginning of the map. And now just at 39%. Trying to build up towards that barrage as quickly as possible. Mirror, the one kind of saving grace here, close to that Captive Sun, but how much value you're going to be able to find with it when you have bubbles on the other side, we'll have to just wait and see.
It's limited bubbles and cooldowns as well. Max is going to have to expand a bubble every now and then, so at max, I think he'll only have the one available to give to one person.
Well, let's see. It's the connection, I believe, maybe onto one. I think it only clipped on the Lip. Hard to tell as Heesung does get taken low, but Lip surviving. I think the assessment is correct. Immortality Field going to be cleared out. For now, the corner hold working decently well, but double support ultimates are now available. The Deadeye softening up. Maimon taking him down dangerously low, but it's going to be Sky taken out. As a trade comes through, Lip eliminated pulse bomb from Kevster, able to find Shu. Solid picks coming in. Choron going to be taken down, but now they're applying kills coming in. It's going to be Heesung and Max versus Maimon and Kevster, really. Cart going to start inching forward. The barrage going to be committed to, but that is just a suicide mission. As Kepster trying to get the pick off here onto Max, going to be forced away.
I respect my Moan for going for that play, but he misread the cooldowns because Max had one more bubble left to play through, and now the payload goes on through. Kepster cannot 1v2 here. He needs teammates. He's got them now. Pistola has a flux as well, but how can they really play through this? Max might still have bubbles available. Pistola's just dead.
He just dies. The grab gets the catch on Amir, which means that he is absolutely screwed in that position. My Moan going to be taken down. Kepster the last one standing, and not for very long, and certainly not on the cards. A little bit of a slow up into a very breezy push. Crazy Raccoon. They want to be done and dusted here. They want to get into the semifinals. They want to double up that money even further. And they are one map away from making that happen.
And at this point, you have to go to either push or flashpoint remaining. You have to pick a map as well. Crimson's got a tough choice here. Go towards a map that Junbin cannot play. You can't beat Junbin. You have a chance of beating Max, but they're 0-3 down. They can't beat any of them right now. They have to find some sort of winning angle, some sort of winning matchup, and they just haven't got one. But one thing they cannot do is go up against the ball again. So Coliseo, probably not an option for them. New Queen Street, Runasapi available. Both New Junk City and Suravasa could be dangerous. My Moan and Kevster had a couple moments here, but at the same time, I mean, would it have been better to keep Cayenne to play the Ashe? It's a question you have to ask. They wanted to have some flexibility so they weren't necessarily entirely stuck onto a poke and give some options for a double flex DPS, but it just didn't work out. How many times did players on ENCE die off rip? My Moan off rip on A, and the Vistola on the B defense. Players are just melting, and it's hard to even see how they're melting because 1 second they're on screen, the next second they're just gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's brutal scenes out here, the likes of which, well, we're used to kind of seeing whenever Crazy Raccoon takes to the stage, frankly. But let's go ahead and send it back down to the analysts to break down Midtown.
Come on in. The water's fine here in the studio. As you can see, the bands are already in. The coach is on top of their game, and they said no break needed after map 3. We're just going to keep it rolling. Got to respect the Europeans appreciating our time. But ZP, let's start here with the disrespect showcased by Crazy Raccoon. They wouldn't even let ENCE out of their spawn.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bigger indication that a map is running away from a team than when you look outside your spawn and there's an entire team there shooting back at you. It just means that at that point, they've done everything right. They do not care, and it's up to you to prove that you have the mechanical skill to even get out of your spawn. But all in all, I mean, this was a tough match where ENCE struggled to even get a clean team fight.
Yeah, I was kind of interested to see how many staggers were going to happen there, as it looked like it's every single time they started to get their momentum, had their ults online, had the team to come together, somebody's getting picked. How do you stop that from happening, and who is causing all the damage?
Well, the best you can do to stop it from happening is to simply wait and spawn until you have 5. But it wasn't so much that they were staggering out of spawn with this lack of discipline, more so that the second they picked their head out anywhere, someone was there ready to take it right off.
Impressive shots across the board, even with the Ashe band. We saw the Cassidy coming out, and Whip is basically showcasing that he can play any hero in the DPS pool to an ultra high level. He's been very fun to watch. Before we dive deeper on Lip, though, can you tell me about Heesang? We haven't shown his screen nearly enough. What else does this guy have in his arsenal?
Well, you know, we haven't been showcasing Heesang all too much, but he is probably the most flexible flex DPS player in the tournament right now.
Wow.
He has everything on lock. All of the flyers, Tracer to an extremely high level, Genji to an extremely high level. In this series, he's just been a solid foundation. He's always there, ready to fill the gaps. He is an incredible player.
ZP?
Yeah, I mean, Hex brought it up the other day on the desk, just saying, look, Heesang is never the problem. It's always a player that's going to give you consistent production, as Hunter said, can fill in what's needed. And look, I mean, you go look back into the other games. I mean, there were games where Heesang would take over as Genji. But the key here is, Puckett, is that their roster is so stacked that they don't need Heesang to have a monster game to win the game.
Max dominating on the Sigma, back-to-back maps. We wonder, is Junbin coming back in, or will Crazy Raccoon finish it here? We have one more pick potentially more here, but ENCE on the wire. We've got Push, we've got Flashpoint. We mentioned the struggles across all of the maps, but where do you go, and who do you put in? Do you bring Kai on the hit scan, or do you keep My Moan and the Echo in the game?
I think the hit scan, that probably showed the most promise. Out of all the picks for ENCE, that looked like the matchup was the best. So I would say that we're probably likely to see a push pick here, maybe something like New Queen Street, because that's a map where you can really slow things down, you can let a hit scan shine, but at the end of the day, all of these maps remaining in the pool, Push, Flashpoint, these are maps where you always need to be scared of a Lucio, and ENCE has already used their Lucio ban.
Great call. What about you, ZP?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea of bringing in Kai is smart, just because, look, I don't expect Kai to beat Lip in the 1-to-1, but I expect Kai existing to at least make it so Lip cannot just freely annihilate the other team. It's kind of one of those things that, yeah, he's going to beat you, but he has to pay attention to you. You exist, therefore, you know, the rest of your team has more opportunity to actually make plays and get something done.
We have the pick. It's in. It is official. We are going to push. You nailed it. But it's going to be Runasabi as our official map. Let's reveal it here. Tell me about this. If I'm tuning into Overwatch 2 for the first time, is this a flat map? Is it a vertical map? Am I going to see people in the sky, or is everyone grounded here?
Well, the thing about Runasapi, it's a little bit flexible in that regard. You can play wide, you can play the hit scans, but at the same time, there's enough of these close little corridors that you can pick an all-in comp. You can lock in a Lucio, you can go down the side, and you can close these gaps. So while it is a hit scan viable map, it's one where things can get a little bit dicey.
All right, I want to protect my backline, so ZP. What's the GOATs of Overwatch 2? What can you potentially bring out to Deathball against this Korean team?
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about Deathball, I mean, you can run something like a Ram at the very least. You can run a BAP just to go, okay, you're going to dive in. At least we're going to have Immortality Field. And also, I mean, if Mira's still in, you can run the Alari with it too, where it wasn't quite as effective in the last map, but you think about bright points in the series where things went well. I mean, you kind of have to hope, okay, Mira, please, I just hope everything goes well for you in one go.
You heard from Sir Majed, it is a different game when you are playing the Korean Overwatch play style, as they love to dive into the back line. As we reveal the map, it is Runasabi. We will see push, and this could be the end of ENCE's tournament. They've already locked up $40,000. They're playing for $80K in a spot in the Final Four, and Crazy Raccoon are one map away. It's time for our hero bans, and it's time to find out what ENCE decides. No Wrecking Ball, please. Junbin, please keep that out of your arsenal for now.
Yeah, no, this ban, it makes a lot of sense. Junbin's Wrecking Ball, that would apply incredible pressure to any hit scan on the field, and Junbin, anytime ball is pickable, we've seen him taking over on it.
They don't want to see rockets from the sky. Crazy Raccoon removing Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit questionable just because I feel like I would rather face Kevster on the Pharah than face Kevster on the other heroes that Kevster is on. I mean, Kevster isn't a bad Pharah, but when you talk about game-defined performances, usually you're going to get from Kevster on things like the Tracer.
And of course, we can see some subs coming in. ENCE says, Mirror, we're going to bring back in Rack Attack. Does that tell you Lucio's on the map?
I think that tells us all we need to know about what's going to come out from ENCE, because if Rack Attack, a very nice guy, is in the server, he is going to be playing Lucio for sure. They are going to be aiming to run it down on this map. They're probably going to be playing something like a Ramatra comp, and they're going to have Rack running in with it.
You got the blonde Clark Kent, a.k.a. Vestola. On the other side, the tank, it's Max. They're giving them 3 maps here in this best of 7. If you were watching them through the group stages, it was mostly Junbin. So what does this tell you? A lot more Sigma?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Sigma. And also, it just kind of, you're sort of signaling to their team, oh, we're getting rid of the ball. Yeah, keep Max in. You know, it's just sort of, well, Junbin can't go to the ball, which is one of his signature heroes. So you keep the player in that has, like, the bigger tank pool at that point.
I think there's a very real chance that instead of a Sigma, we might be seeing something like a Zarya or a Junker Queen comp come out as well. We could see something like really rush-centric. It could be a rush matchup to finish things.
Excellent stuff from our analyst here, but it's time to send it back to the casters. Let's see if Crazy Raccoon can finish and make Unter look smarter than ZP.
Well, I would have to lean towards Team Unter right now, just given the scenes that we've been witnessing. The attempts here, the drafts, the bans, it has not been working out for ENCE. Crazy Raccoon, it's been some fairly one-sided wins.
Yeah, and back over towards one last shot here for ENCE. Potentially, it's going to be the Diva, Dive, Lucio, and Kiriko. This is kind of the composition that I talked about at the start for ENCE. That's kind of going to have to be the bread and butter, especially on a diveable map like this. Unter talked about Rack Attack being a nice guy. Well, today, he's going to have to be a really good guy as well in terms of gameplay. He's been a poor son, he's been a rich son. Let's hope he backed up, because ENCE, they need him online. They need this backline solid. As Max rolls out onto a Zarya. Max has played this map already. Crazy Raccoon to play this map already. They played the Zarya into the Diva. Vestola might have to think about his hero swap immediately.
Yeah, my eyes immediately going to be going over here towards Maimon. See how he's going to be contending. Was the bright spot for them back over on Midtown. That last little volley, but already Rack attack going to be eliminated as Max is able to find that kill. Vistola going to be broken out of the mech. Maimon does manage to deliver one as shoot will fall. Lip taken down. There's the double, but the cleanup is still going to be too strong. Bot initial push goes the way of CR.
That's important. Maimon's going to keep this one a little bit more competitive just to make sure that Raccoon need to be able to, you know, go wait for the respawn, slow down the ult charge. Who's going to swap heroes here as well. And as mentioned, Vistola doesn't want the D.Va versus Zarya matchup. I think if you are ENCE, you should have expected that Max probably can and will run out on this. They were hoping that Max is going to square up on the D.Va, but Max says no. We know Vistola's going to come on the D.Va instead, so let's get a counter pick straight off the bat.
Max sticking through with this one. Shoot pivoting over. Ana now in play. Sky goes for that Kiriko as well. See how the adjustments look. The dive forward, looking to try to get the punish here onto the supports. A little bit of damage there on the Chorong, but ultimately Kevzer not wanting to overstay as welcome. Backs off. Hisang now under fire. Maimon tracking, trying to find that elimination, but ultimately he's going to fall as Lip comes up with a kill. High energy now here for Max. They're piling forward, trying to get maybe the pinch here onto him, but Lip's got free reign as Rack attack going to be just cycled right back into the respawn room.
Yeah, they're all just stuck in here right now. Vistola's going to take him down next. It is a complete free fire for Max. Just about 100 energy. As Crazy Raccoon still with pretty minimal deaths. I mean, I think Shoes died a couple of times now, so ENCE are at least able to get a couple of picks, but this is going to be the fight for the checkpoint now. Chorong has a sound barrier in time, and ENCE, they got nothing. They got no ultimates whatsoever. Maimon and Kivsa at least have DPS ults, but I don't think that's going to be enough to overtake Chorong here. I think Maimon should probably go for a Zarya copy.
Yeah. And contest coming through. Checkpoint nearly obtained. Hisang just getting that extra little bit of meterage. And now they back away. Crucial ults getting ready to come up. That grab nearly online for Max. 15% more to go. Big bang combo. Deadeye. Whatever you want really could come through. Is, oh man, an 8 HP dupe coming in here for Maimon. Getting the copy onto that Zarya. Beat comes through. Deadeye pop. Lip not going to be able to find value on that one. Backpedals as he nearly gets eliminated, but now the grab looks to lock them in place. Kevster dead.
Nice.
The pulse spot. The big bang. It comes to fruition. And that is going to be the fight win going the way of Crazy Raccoon.
It's exactly what you want to see. Crazy Raccoon, they come up nice and large. Max has a Zarya, he has a grab, and he's saying you called the combo, it was going to come on in, and nothing they can do about that unless the Suzu is available, unless Rack Attack has a sound barrier available. We talked about the fact that ENCE, they are further behind on ultimates. Rack was coming into that one pretty low on ults. He does have potential for a tempo beat coming on. Like Crazy Raccoon, though, had to spend a lot for that fight, so maybe there's a chance for ENCE now.
Just look at Hisang just sat there, says, yep, I'm bubbled up. Shoot this thing, please. Just swiftly makes his exit. So checkpoint already obtains. Just under 7 minutes left to play through here. See how ENCE can try to get themselves back into the driver's seat. They do have that annihilation. They have the sound barrier. Vistola leading the charge, but eating quite a bit of damage. Has to be cautious.
Yeah, they have to slow down and heal him up. I mean, even a health pack being grabbed there. ENCE ideally don't want to have to burn ults right now. They're still just resending payload back to mid, so look, at least the forward spawn is gone. Crazy Raccoons are giving a lot of space away. This is ENCE's opportunity to walk up.
And that's a big backpedal as punches now flying in. Lip going to be caught. Sky able to find that kill. Puts him down with the kunai. Vistola going to be emptied out, but the annihilation still able to claim the second DPS here on the side of Crazy Raccoon. So some more space opened up. The push now really beginning for ENCE.
Okay, this is good. Okay, can they actually challenge for the checkpoint though? They still need more ultimates. Nice that Rack and Sky held onto ults here. This is required. Now that the annihilation is gone, support ultimates probably both end up having to be popped here just to take down anyone on Crazy Raccoon that'll allow them to get the cap. Ideally though, Max dies.
All right, beat for beat here on both sides. So the ENCE going to expire on him. Nano out onto Lip. Electric Cowboy in play and instantly does find a kill onto Sky. Shu going to be traded out, but Lip looking for a little bit more. Support's down though on the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Winnable for ENCE.
Back attack still here, but Bot continuing to move further and further away from them. But now with Max's death, that should be them being able to regain control.
That's absolutely huge. Sky didn't even have an ultimate for that fight either. Can Stola check down Lip? Yes. Further staggers here, which will be very impactful as we now see some more support swaps turning over towards Lucio. Shu over towards the BAP as well. Even later deaths here. As for Crazy Raccoons, it's a long round of swapping. Chorong is still deciding what he wants to do. He's just speeding a couple players forward maybe. And finally he'll lock in the Lucio. ENCE will have timing here for a Kitsune rush, but Crazy Raccoon still don't. This is the opportunity for ENCE to be able to cap and maybe even overtake. They must play perfectly now. They're not going to get a chance like this again, I don't think, for the last 5 minutes. So momentum is so key. If ENCE are going to win a map, I think this has to be the push. This series, the push is moving on from here.
Max leading the charge once again, building up that energy. Deadeye out, smattering of damage going to be found. Kitsune rush invested here from Sky. The grab now coming through, getting the catch onto Vistola. There's a big bang combo once again, and Hisang finds two. Vistola and Kevster annihilated. Maimon trying to build up for his own grab to try to get some form of peel here, but right as he gets it, that's going to be the break on the dupe. The instant headshot from Lip to put down the Echo, and the push will start getting it shifted back over here in Crazy Raccoon's favor.
It was just too much pressure before the grab, right? Because again, you have to survive that with either the Suzu or with a couple of bubbles from Maimon's copied Zarya, but none of that was available. Once the Heesang Pulse came through, it was all gone, all the utility expended, because ENCE are under too much pressure before that to be able to really survive. So Crazy Raccoons do not allow the camp. ENCE had a really good shot there. Again, I don't know if they're going to get another shot like that for the rest of this map. I know there's 4 minutes left of remaining, but Crazy Raccoons, once they get momentum back in their favor, I don't know if they're going to let it go.
And while they're not starting the push again here, it is going to be held in place. They get themselves back into those forward spawns. Dive into the back line. Pulse bomb with the Finding Immortality Field. The smattering damage there on the shoot. The kill not confirmed. And Kevzer forced a reroute. Has to join in with the rest of the team. The bot now starting to move forward once more.
Yeah, the bubble was too early there from Max, so I don't think Max even got the ult charge from that. A little bit disappointing for him. Vistola, Annihilation ready to go.
He just got Lip here, down on the high ground, just taking pod shots down towards Vistola. The slide in, the flashbang out, it's going to be Shu claiming the kill. He sunk down low. Kills come across to keep that Tracer alive. His sound barrier going to be used here by Rack Attack, but now matched by Chorong, so shielded up is Lip. Deadeye at the ready, seeking target, and he will find it. Maimon going to be taking down the DPS, eliminated here on the side of ENCE.
There has to be some regret there from ENCE, because Vistola could have buffed up his own HP by popping the Annihilation. It would have sucked, but you wouldn't have died. It gives Rack Attack some time to put the sound barrier in there. He uses it anyway. At least it forces Chorong. That would have been disastrous if Rack Attack sound barriers and Chorong doesn't. So they 1-1 on that one, but like I said, 107 now. Momentum is all Crazy Raccoons.
Deadeye popped, Lip, Vistola forced to tuck away in behind. It's just building it up, and Kevzer swings out into it. Ends up falling. Max now saved. The Immortality Field coming across. Lip under fire, will fall. Annihilation does manage to come up with that elimination. As Chorong will similarly get dropped, but it's nearly 110 meters. So Crazy Raccoons not too bothered ultimately here with the state of affairs.
No, I mean, look at the momentum, look at the time remaining versus the meterage. It's more than double the meters. This is why I said, look, that 5-minute fight was a critical one. If ENCE had any shot at winning the map, they must win that fight, and for the rest of the entire map, I just don't think ENCE have a shot at all. It's very momentum-based, and you're in a situation now where you have to spend this entire time getting the payload back into the mid, resetting this forward spawn, and have to take this mid fight again as well. Shoot ults for this one.
Maimon nearly loses dude. Maimon trying to make something happen here, but just can't even play forward even with those bubbles. The break is in. Some sticky bombs to help take down Lip. Kill going to be found. Pulse bomb now going to be lobbed out. This time Heesang not going to be able to find any eliminations off the back of that one, but Chorong deals with the enemy Echo. Time continuing to dwindle, 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining as more kills found. Rack Attack taken down. Chorong coming up with that. Vistola only able to get rid of Shu, but there's going to be a taxi for him. Chorong's just going to rotate out. He's going to pick him up.
At this point in the map, 1 minute 30 left to go. I don't think ENCE are going to get the bot even necessarily back to mid anymore, because every single fight that ENCE take, they have to reset all this bot distance. So it's going to go, you know, not quite to the 100, but the bot can theoretically go up to, like, this is what, the 70-ish kind of meter mark, maybe the 80-meter mark. ENCE have to push all the way back to the mid to then take a mid fight to even begin trying to hit up that 47-61 again on their own side.
Beat nearly online here for Rack Attack. Chorong just got his online. Deadeye 21% away here for Lip. That grab prepared for the setup. Stolen trying to play forward, forced back away. Next Annihilation nearly ready to go. And Sky, Kitsune Rush at the ready. But with 40 seconds remaining, ENCE, they're going to have to pull the trigger here sooner rather than later. They have to be the ones to step towards Crazy Raccoon, but as that comes through, they have to dump both support ultimates to grab, just locking them in place. Crazy Raccoon just trying to backpedal themselves out of dodge, get themselves back into a better position. Now, they go for the counter beat. Now they go on the offense. Deadeye popped. Vistola not popping it. Oh, he uses it and he dies immediately. Pulse bomb not finding the elimination, but Heesang certainly will. 2 kills for him to close out the map, to close out the series. I don't know why they're pushing the bot forward. They're giving them an opportunity to touch. But ultimately, this is done and dusted. Forward spawns coming back through. Rack Attack being held at bay, contained, dead. Chorong gets the kill in the time. Well, the OT will be forced out, but
Crazy Raccoon being very nice, giving the overtime over, but it's still over.
They let him touch. Sky gets a headshot. She's going to be taken out, but Vistola will fall. As Lip on the hunt, just trying to see how much more he can pad the stats, trying to go ahead and prove that he is going to be the guy with the gold medal for eliminations at the end of it all. As the overtime will now bleed
Crazy
down.
Raccoons are gonna push.
I mean, well, they can only do it so much. They can only push when there's people there, and they can't push when there's people there, so.
Yeah. I mean, here's the moral of the story here. Crazy Raccoons, they didn't even have to give the OT over. If they simply didn't push the payload,
Oh, it would've been
I guarantee the C9 would have happened. So Crazy Raccoons just having a little bit of fun at the end there, knowing that they went regardless, and not a single winning matchup for ENCE at the end of the day. They tried everything. They got the Circuit Royale early. They had the Sigma matchup, couldn't win there.